Hey everyone, it's Tom from Campfire Chords, and today we're going to talk about how to read guitar tabs. So I don't read sheet music. I've taken classes on how to read sheet music, but I just can't play it fast enough or pick out the notes fast enough to play it on guitar, so I learned on guitar tabs and chords. Now I'm not saying guitar tabs and chords are easier than learning sheet music. However, when you're playing just guitar and tabs and chords are freely available, where sometimes sheet music you have to pay for, it makes a lot of sense to learn how to read guitar chords and tabs even if you know how to read sheet music. Alright, so let's go and pull up a chord. Here we have an A minor. Now what you're looking at in this chord diagram is basically the neck of the guitar. When you're looking at the A minor in the chord diagram, on the right side is the little E string, the thinnest string. And on the left side is the big E string, the thickest string. So when you're looking at playing this chord diagram on your guitar, you got to look at the guitar like this and think of it like this. So I'm going to put my first finger on the second string of the first fret, because that's what it shows, looking at it like this. My second finger, fourth string of the second fret. My third finger, third string in the second fret. You can also see that there are two circles above the first and fifth string. Those mean open, so that means play those. However, the X means do not play. So we're going to strum just 5 strings for an A minor. And that's pretty much all you need to know about reading guitar chord diagrams. However, let's put a bar chord up so you can get familiar with how that looks. This is an F chord. As you can see, there's a line drawn across the first fret. Now this can also be annotated with a bunch of ones and a black circle around it all the way across the fret, or just a line. That essentially means bar out that fret. Alright. Now just being able to read guitar chord diagrams will pretty much get you through any song that you search for if you put the specific word chords in the search. As you can see here, Someone You Love Chords by Lewis Capaldi, every single chord in this song has a diagram, and now you know how to read it, you'll be able to play those chords. But what happens if you want to pick out either an intro or pick an entire song or do a cool solo? Most of that stuff is usually done in tab, and this is what tab looks like. A little bit different than chords, but you're still essentially looking at the entire neck of the guitar just laid out differently. So lucky for you, they've actually labeled the little E on this tab, and most of them are labeled as such. As you can see, the little E is on top, which means you're essentially looking at this. If you were to put this up next to that tab, that's how it would be. Which is kind of funky because the little E is here, but it's on top in the tab. So when you rotate it, you have to remember that the top is actually the bottom. So reading tabs isn't too bad as long as you remember that the bottom on this tab is actually the top over here. What the numbers represent is the fret. So you can see on the big E string, which is the top, but the bottom on the tab, it says 8. That means 8. I'm in the 8th fret. And it also says 9 on the G string, which is the 3rd string up, and that's 9. Now because they're stacked on top of each other, you see there's no spaces, they're directly in line with each other. That means play them at the same time. And then all the dashes in between is a delay. So the closer they are, the quicker you're going to play those specific notes. Now as you can see, keeping this pattern for something like this, where I just have 2 fingers, is going to allow me to actually play the rest of that first top piece of the tab. Because it's 8 and 9, and then it's 3 and 4, same pattern, and then it's 5 and 5. But to do that, I'll just keep them both on the 5th fret. And then 1 and 2. So they're on the same string, so I'm basically just sliding my fingers around and moving them to the appropriate fret number. Alright, now looking at the bottom piece of this particular tab, we can see it's the same 8, 9, 8, 9, 3, 4, 3, 4. Closer together, so less delay, but also because they're not vertically stacked like they are on the top one where it was played 8 and 9 together. We have alternating is basically what this is going to be, so 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, like that. And then there's a little bit of a delay in between those, so 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9 delay, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. So that's pretty much all you're looking at, and there isn't a specific amount of time to delay per dash. You just kind of have to know how the song sounds, what the tempo is, and you kind of just have to play it till it sounds like you hear it on the radio, or that when you listen to it, it sounds the same way. And that's really the only way to do that. But that's how you read these type of tabs. This one's pretty easy, but let's go into some other things that you'll see on tabs just in case you run into it. Alright, I went out and grabbed from Wiki all of the symbols you'll see on a tab, and I'm only going to go over a few of them, so go ahead and screenshot or copy this chart so that you have all of them for future reference. The first one we're going to cover is the H, which is a hammer-on, and that is annotated by, say, 2H3 on the tab. And what that means is if you're on the second, second fret on any string, and you're playing the 2, and you got an H3, 2 hammer 3, so you 2, 2 hammer 3, just like that. Alright, the next one we're going to cover is a slide up, and it is a forward slash, meaning it goes forward from left to right, bottom left, top right, and that is annotated 2 to 7, for example. So if you're on the second fret of any string, and it's 2/7, it means slide to the 7. So 2, slide to the 7, 2, slide to the 7. Now a backward slash, which is top left to bottom right, is reverse, slide down. So that could be 7 backward slash 2. So 7 to 2, backward slash. And the last one we're going to cover is a vibrato. That's listed as a lowercase v or a squiggly line, also known as a tilde. So say you have something that says 3V, you go into the 3rd fret, and instead of just playing the string, you got to get that vibrato effect. So you're basically going to move the string up and down to get this vibrato effect. And that's pretty much all we're going to cover. There's some other things that as you can see in that chart, but if you run into them, look them up or come back and leave a comment and ask me how to do it. These are the main ones we're going to concern ourselves with because it's what you're probably going to run into for the most part until you become beyond beginner, beyond amateur, and start playing harder music. Alright, that's all I got for you guys today. The main thing I wanted to cover in that lesson was to make sure that while I'm teaching you all these easy campfire chords, that you know how to read tabs and you know how to read the chords. Otherwise, you can't play the music. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, click like. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. And as always, feel free to leave me your comments and feedback below. Thank you.